Hi, this is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and this is No BS Hiring Advice Radio, and done as a Google Hangout, No BS Hiring Advice. It's a time where I like to spend about 15 minutes talking with you as an HR professional, talking to you, Mr. or Ms. Hiring Manager, or small business owner, to try and help you make even better decisions around staffing. I believe that hiring doesn't have to be hard, difficult, or certainly as painful or take as long as you're engaged in, and you can get a better quality of talent. I just believe that many of you have systems in place that screw things up. So that's where this show is designed to help you. I also publish an e-zine called No BS Hiring Advice e-zine. It comes out twice monthly. You can get a complimentary subscription at my website, which is No BS Hiring Advice. I'm sorry, let me back up for a second. My website is thebiggamehunter.us. In the upper right, sign up for a complimentary subscription to the e-zine. As I said, twice monthly, you'll receive a copy of it into your inbox. So today's show is brought to you by consultingassignments.com. And that's a site where you can find and fill consulting assignments, full-time consulting positions, temp to perm and contract to hire opportunities anywhere in the world, completely free. Posting a job or a resume is free. Searching jobs and resumes is also free, as is the ability to contact one another. The only thing the site charges for is if you're going to feature a job or a resume. It is, get this, $10 for 30 days. I'm told there will be a price increase soon, but for now it's $10 for 30 days. If you sign up to post more than one position, they take the price down from there. So again, consultingassignments.com. Now, this show is coming based upon a conversation with someone I know who's a career coach. And I think the conversation really applies to your hiring process. Now, let me give you a scenario. He calls me up and we're having a nice chat about this, that, or the other thing. And he goes, I'd like to pick your brain for a second and see whether you can give me some advice. And he's coaching some executive level talent at one organization that he's done work with for many years. And just to give you a perspective, these are high level directors making probably in the area of $250,000 to $300,000 a year. And something's not clicking for them. And he's looking for executive input. Now, I think the lessons from this conversation really translate very well into the hiring process. And just to give you an idea, we've known one another for a long time. We have a common vocabulary from our experiences in the search business. And he's describing that these are individuals who just are not top leadership material right now. And he's been hired to help them develop those qualities. Now, I'm someone who's been in the search business for more than 40 years. I've filled many positions. I coach individuals. I coach recruiting firms. I obviously create content on the web in a variety of different formats. And as we were talking, I was getting an idea from him because, they're just things that someone says that kind of give you some insights into the issues. And, one thing was pretty clear pretty quickly, and that, there was an eye contact issue that existed with some of these guys. That when challenged by senior management, the people, that lower level individuals refer to as the suits, the executive level professionals in the organizations would challenge them, they cave pretty quickly. One of the things that was suggested to them is that they kind of can create a diary of things that they've been. I didn't really like that as an idea. The idea was that in several instances, there have been times where management has come to them about ideas, and then they have turned around and said, but I proposed that to you 6-8 months ago. I don't remember that. And you can see just from that one simple exchange that they don't have the executive presence or bearing that management is trusting. Someone else was able to come in at a later point with these same ideas, because they heard them, liked them, and thus was able to claim credit for them because these individuals were not sufficiently respected. Now, let me start translating this into the job search scenario. Earlier in our conversation, I had said I will not work on any job description where it says somewhere in the description, we want to hire a team player, or words to that effect. Because to me, when a firm suggests that they want to hire a team player, they're basically looking for a drone, someone to take orders. The idea of thinking is irrelevant to the job. And you can argue that till you're blue in the face, but I want to ask you a blunt question. If Steve Jobs walked in for that interview, would you have hired him? I doubt it. How about Larry Ellison? How about Michael Dell? Probably not. Let me go an extra step. For every job description that you put out, a degree is required. You're rejecting Bill Gates, you're rejecting Michael Dell, you're rejecting a whole bunch of people who went to inferior colleges and didn't complete, maybe for economic reasons. And you hold that line, and you've rejected some of the biggest executives in the world today. Some of the most successful, Mark Zuckerberg. Would you have a problem hiring Mark? Well, at the end of the day, would you have liked his idea? Well, a lot of you stopped thinking a while ago. And given that this is no BS hiring advice, let me get to my point. I talked about an article I wrote for LinkedIn not too long ago, where the theme was about going for broke. And I told the Sylvester Stallone story, which, if you're not familiar with it, Stallone was a struggling actor at the time he wrote his original movie, which was called Rocky. He pitched it to several studios. One was interested, and they were willing to buy it from him as long as he wasn't going to act in it. He refused. And understand, at that time in life, he had no money in the bank, couldn't feed his dog, a pregnant wife, and couldn't make his rent. So this is a guy who was desperate, but he put it all on the line and said, no, I've got to be in the movie. And, he also said to himself that, and this is like a Wednesday, and he said, if they don't change their mind by Monday, I'm going to cave in. But Friday afternoon, they called up and said, okay, you got the part. We'd like to buy the movie. And out of that came his entire career and all his wealth and incredible success for any number of organizations. Now, a lot of you, when you interview, you're getting what you deserve. You're hiring mediocrity because you're not demanding of people that they give you something exceptional when they walk in the door. And you can talk to you blue in the face with me, but I've debriefed tens of thousands of people over my career. I filled 1,200 positions plus many consulting assignments. But what you're really looking for is someone to take direction, someone to take orders. You don't really want someone to think. And I don't care what level you're hiring at, that's what you're doing. And the message is real clear. The result is they have to parrot things back to you. And I'm not talking about, and I'm not suggesting that what you should be doing is giving out brain teasers on interviews. Brain teasers is a different version of stupid. And, at the end of the day, remember Forrest Gump, stupid is as stupid does? Well, your organization hires stupid. And you got to upgrade it, and you got to start thinking of a better caliber of question when you're evaluating and assessing. Now, if you want to get some of those questions, I'm happy to coach you, but I'm not here to give it away for free. I'll just simply say it's so important that you hire people who are willing to risk everything, who are willing to look you square in the eye and say, no, that's wrong. So, I'll give you one teaser here. One of the best questions that you can do, one of the best tests that you can offer is when they give a right answer to a question, tell them that they're wrong and see the response. And I want to encourage you, when all is said and done, to look people square in the eye and say, no, that's not the right answer. What I was looking for was, and you give them some reasonable answer, and watch whether or not they argue with you. At the end of that, what you want to do is say, thank you. That's what I was looking for. Because what you want to do is to hire people with the spirit, the drive, the determination to be champions, instead of the mediocrities that often you're bringing on board for your organization. Again, if you had Steve Jobs in your reception area, if you had Larry Ellison, Michael Dell, Bill Gates, any number of great champions when they were 20, 22 years old, non-degreed individuals, non-compliant individuals, would you rather have gotten that fight into your organization and work like the dickens to hold on to them? Or would you rather have just rejected them? If you're rejecting people like that, respectfully, you are being foolish. This could be your next CEO and your next billion-dollar creator. You want to push that out the door because you're insecure, because you're afraid of bringing on someone who has the drive and the determination and the vision, no less. The vision to be a champion. It makes no sense to me. So my encouragement to you is to start rethinking your hiring process, to start looking at what you can do to bring on exceptional people, not the mediocrities, not the people who are going to parrot back all the right answers that I'm teaching them in my videos. I want to encourage you to start thinking creatively about how you can bring on people. Now, I'll give you another example. Consider this free consulting. Millennials have an awful rap, particularly with people my age and younger. So millennials rap is that they don't work hard. They're more concerned about having fun, 9 to 5, social programs, play. They're lazy. I must in all candor tell you, every generation in the United States that comes in, starting with mine, probably the one before mine as well, all had that rap coming in. Remember the beatniks? I'm not from that generation. That predates me. The beatnik generation, we're going to be a bunch of losers. Wrong. They did a great job. The hippies, who in effect are the boomers, by the way, who most of you piss and moan about as being workaholics, or they don't know how to, well, when they were 20 some odd years old and trying to get jobs, there was no way that they would ever assimilate into corporate life, right? Wrong. How about Gen X? Gen X is frustrated by the boomers because the boomers don't make space because they work like bandits. They work so hard. And Gen X has done a great job of stepping up and playing hard. Yet, at the time they entered the workforce, losers, bums, lazy. Millennials are no different. What you need to do is start thinking of ways to identify millennials that are your future leaders, the ones that are not necessarily docile now, who you can adopt into your organization, get great mentors for, get great coaches for, because at the end of the day, unless you do that, you might as well expect management to sell the business and put you out on your butt, because there are not going to be any kids working there who can take over when the boomers like me start to retire or die off. So, blunt message, it's exactly what I like to give you, no BS hiring advice. I hope you find it stimulative here. And I also want to help you with recruiting. So reach out to me. My email address is jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. Let's set up a time to speak. I'd love to help you with staffing or with coaching to help you do a more effective job of hiring. Because to me, it's not about can they answer these questions right. It's about the character and drive and determination to hire people who will make your firm exceptional. Also want to say, if we're not connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request to linkedin.com/in/the-big-game-hunter. I accept connection requests from people worldwide, except if you look like a spammer or scammer to me, except if you're a third-party recruiter. Also, follow my firm, The Big Game Hunter Incorporated, on LinkedIn. I want to help you. This is Jeff Altman. Hope you enjoyed the show. Be back next week with more for you. Take care.